back to Behind the Bands. I'm K-Rock from Mid-Atlantic Rock Reviews. Normally on Behind the Bands, we take an approach where we sit with a band on either a couch or the street and do a face-to-face interview. But with New Day Dawn, we took a different approach. We decided to sit down and were graciously invited by New Day Dawn's Dawn Botti to look behind the scenes as they got ready for a live show. Join us tonight as we talk with Dawn Botti of New Day Dawn about everything that goes into putting on a live show, a look behind the scenes before the live show, and as we see some clips of the show itself.
You said you already wrote the set list for the show tonight?
In my head, but I have to put it down on a piece of paper. So this is what we do. It's very exciting. We go over here, and we get out the paper. Oh, of course, my son. Oh, no, here we go. Sometimes, if I'm feeling really ambitious, I type them out on the computer, but screw it. And then I get my pen, and we sit down here. So every set list is different because it depends how...
So how much of the EP goes into the set list, or how much of that thought process?
Most of the songs from the EP, because I know people want to hear them, but not necessarily in the order that they're on the EP. So... we had an hour-long set on Wednesday, and it flowed really nice, and a lot of people were specifically commented about sort of how it built on itself. So we want to try to copy that set list, except now we only have a half-hour set, so it's like, how do you do the same thing? So that was kind of what was in the thought of this. So like the first song we're going to do is Lay Your Head, which is on the EP.
That's on the EP, yeah.
And that's kind of a good opener. There's this guy, Tom Jackson, who does live production. He's a producer, but for live shows of bands. And he's spoken at a bunch of the music festival or conferences, and he's got this DVD set that you can buy, and somebody lent it to me. And he talks about building a set, no matter what type of music you are. When you do a live performance, he said it's kind of like dating somebody for the first time. And he said, if you know your audience and they know you really well and you've been playing for 20 years, like, okay, maybe this doesn't apply. But if it's an audience that doesn't know who you are, you can't come out like, hi, nice to meet you! Because that's like, if you were dating someone and they first met you, you can't come on that strong. So his whole point is like, if you have songs, like, judge your songs 1 to 10 in terms of intensity and start with a solid 5. He's like, come out like with a handshake. Hi, nice to meet you. This is who we are. We're good, but we're going to give you a little bit more. Just stay with us, and you sort of invite them in.
I would not have guessed that. I would have thought it would be more like a 7, like save, the best for last.
Yeah.
But you start off with something really strong.
Yeah, and that's what we used to do. We used to always start off with a really intense song. I mean, when you guys saw us at the Chameleon Club, we started out with Misunderstood, and K-Rock said, like, that song stood out to him.
It still does. It's the funny thing is it's still kind of... Well, it's cool, though, but still, it's a good thing. I don't remember if you told me this or if I read this on your website, that it's a real compliment to you when somebody says, I can't get that song out of my head. And I walked around, and I still, I can picture that song in my head. I mean, that goes through. So, and then, of course, you gave me the story behind it one time. I don't know if you want to mention the story behind that song or not, but...
Yeah, I mean, that song is, at its core, it's about just men and women not being able to talk to each other, but, sort of that men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. But I think more personally for me, it was actually about our former bass player, Corey, and he and I used to constantly butt heads, and like I'd have these conversations with him, and I'd say the sky is blue, and he'd say no, it's not, it's red, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Look, the sky is blue. And it seemed like, and then at the end of the conversation he'd say, so the sky's blue, right? I'm like, are we having the same conversation? It just, a lot of it too has to do with the guys that are in the band. So we just got this new bass player, this guy Elo, and he is such a rock guy, and he gets it. So there's certain songs, like this song Runaway, that's on the EP. there's been players in my band who don't get this song's all about the feel. The chords are easy, but it's a feel song. We played it with Ella the first time we played it. It sounded better than it had in like 4 years. I was like, you get this. So he kind of inspired me to bring back out this song, Deeper Down. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Deeper Down. It's a song that I wrote 10 years ago, maybe more.
If it's not on the first album or the EP, I probably haven't heard it.
It isn't. It's something that Slush Puppy used to do, my old band. And it was a real crowd pleaser because it was usually our closer and sort of the things we'd end the set with it and kick over amps and just kind of go, because it's one of those songs that gets faster and faster at the end and then you end up going crazy. And it's a story about a good girl comes from a nice home who kind of, gets herself into trouble by doing drugs, and she goes deeper down, and it's the story of her sort of progression into using drugs. So it's not exactly a happy ending. But it's a pretty intense song. It kind of, somebody said, it sounds like it starts out Pink Floyd and ends like Freebird from Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
We were talking earlier, do you have to make a decision based on who you're playing with? Obviously you have some songs that are mellower than others, and how much thought goes into that. So you're playing with Stardog Champion tonight. Is that in this thought process as I watch you composing, or is this sort of you already kind of had this?
Absolutely. I mean, we try to sort of cater to the other bands on the bill in terms of what we think that the fans of those bands will like. So we know that we're playing with some heavier bands, so we're playing our heavier songs. We're a really versatile band, and we've got some songs. I mean, we've got songs that we could just get out with an acoustic guitar and, sit there and sing. So this is our heavier set. I mean, and because I had the band Slush Puppy before New Day Dawn, and Slush Puppy was heavier, there's even stuff I can pull from that repertoire. But it's funny because sometimes, like when we played at the Stone Pony 2 years ago, we got on this bill. It was last minute. A band dropped out, and we joined. And there were about 300 people in the audience. Nobody knew who we were. We just did our thing. We played sort of our poppier sort of set. People were like, oh, wow, we love you. And the band coming on right after us really liked us. And they said, oh, we got to play shows together. And I'm like, okay. They got on stage and they were like, and we're like, they liked us? Like, they were so super heavy. And we thought it was weird because, like, we didn't expect that of them, considering that they were asking us to play shows with them. But I don't know. So that always surprises you.
Did you play any more shows with them?
No, they were actually a great band. They were called Set It Free, and they broke up.
Speaking of drummers, speaking of drummers,
We were
talking about the glamorous life of the drummer. As you can see here, that perhaps a little more work to do sometimes for the drummer getting ready.
Show them the back of the shirt.
Dawn, no, I shouldn't complain about that.
You chose that.
Yeah.
Show them the back of the shirt.
Drums if you didn't want to carry all that equipment.
That's right.
Look at the back of the shirt.
Because this is the best part of the shirt.
Now if you go here, I'm going to go to the right side, and I'm going to zoom in. There it is. I spotted it right away, and that was at Rocklahoma 2013. Look at that, man.
That's right.
So,
Best for last.
Yes.
and we're going to let him load that stuff in, because I know.
I have to be careful not to wear this shirt too many times, because I'm going to wear it out.
Yeah. I have mine.
So I don't wash it.
The next thing we have to do to get ready for a show, we have to figure out what merch we're going to bring. So this is the merch bin. These are our posters. This is the mailing list, which I rarely bring anymore because people don't seem to sign a mailing list. They just find you on Facebook. And then this is our merch thing. So I was just going through this the other day because I always have to make sure I have enough sizes of shirts. K-Rock needs a new shirt.
Absolutely.
Sure.
We're going to trade you one because we're going to make sure you get a Marr shirt too.
Oh, awesome. This shirt is has a lyric on it from, one of the songs that you like, which is Misunderstood.
Awesome.
Every word you speak, I misunderstood, and it's got the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil logo. And without the cute little sticker, you can see that it's very manly. Without
Very
the
cool.
So we're gonna get you one of those. And then this is our logo shirt. So when we have places that we can actually set up a true merch thing, we bring the busts with us. Prices normally change depending upon what the other bands put up on their things. I kind of have a little bit of a range because I want to make sure that we're being competitive. And then we sit here and we have to make sure. So the other day I made sure that we had enough of sizes of everything and threw everything in here. So this is all ready to go. And we've got our gummies, which you also have to get some of.
So you got the Rocklahoma shirt on, man. What was the coolest thing about that festival?
The coolest thing about Rocklahoma, I'd say, was the people. People there, the fans.
Did you get a chance to see any of the other bands perform?
Yeah. We saw a band from the UK. Shit, what the hell was their name? Heaven's Basement. Awesome, new up-and-coming band. Lots of energy. Rockin'. Awesome. And we saw Dawkins, so a new and an old.
Song Whatever It Takes. I think you guys are kicking off with that tonight. It's my favorite song on the EP. Is there any kind of story behind it? Who wrote it? And
well, Dawn wrote it, but it's produced by John Marr from Disturbed. It's kind of about like doing whatever it takes to keep doing what we do. And that's called me being the roadie and the drummer and the backup singer and the husband.
It's an awesome song, man, with John Marr, man. And the transformation has occurred.
I grew my hair long in an hour.
Awesome. I love it.
You like these? I just
Yes.
bought these. There's a new rock store in Asbury Park called Fetish, and she was dressing me.
So tell me about the music video you got for the EP.
I actually did it myself. Well, I edited it myself. We had a couple guys follow us around down in South by Southwest with cameras in March, and they took bug goes to the light. We played 6 shows in South by, so we have performances from 6 different shows, all different angles and lighting of us singing the same song. And they gave me all the footage, and I sat there and I put it all together in Sony Vegas and created our first EP, which was featured on Guitar World magazine on guitarworld.com. It was also featured on myish.com, which is a YouTube channel, and it's got 45,000 hits already.
Awesome.
So we're pretty excited about that.